Hello there and welcome back to Sam's on Wrestling. I am Baby Sam. This in the background having a moment is Elder Sam, and today we are looking at our power rankings where we look at wrestlers, and I'm having to be very professional here and not be distracted by the background, but we are looking at Asuka. This is a series where we rank our favourite and not favourite wrestlers, put them into 10 categories and give them scores and come up with an overall score and put them in a leaderboard. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more of this nonsense. And this is Asuka. I felt like a news reporter in the BBC when something like people at deadline day when people are doing stuff in the background and I'm having to talk to camera.
Should we talk about Asuka's wrestling ability?
Let's talk about Asuka's wrestling ability.
This is wrestling business. Their in-ring work, how they are in the ring. Sam, where have you got Asuka for wrestling ability?
I've got her as an 8. I think she's one of the... Are you going higher? That's fair. I think that's very fair.
I think Asuka's one of the best in-ring workers WWE have ever had.
Yeah, no,
every time she gets more than 10 minutes, I think it's awesome. And you can think about so many good matches that she's had. She's flawless. She's so unique. Her moveset is interesting. She could be a striker. She could be a submission artist. She's quick. I think she's superb in the ring. I'm so excited every time Asuka comes out for a match. And every match has always hit. I think about the match with Becky at the Rumble.
Oh, I remember because she had that inverted version of a submission, which was really cool.
And they did a fisherman's type buster off the apron onto the floor, which I'm surprised didn't kill one of them. She's 10 to me. I think she's one of the greatest women's workers of all time, and I would question why you wouldn't have her 10. Who of you essentially think she's a better worker?
I don't know.
Remember, this is the women's one.
No, I know, yeah.
You know?
I did this on a while ago, so I can put it up to a 9. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll go to a 9.
I think genuinely, I cannot say enough about Asuka's in-ring work. I think it's unbelievable. Think about that NXT run. Yeah. All those matches, Mickey James's and even Emma and stuff like that. Oh my God, they're amazing. It was
that last woman's standing match with Nikki Cross as well.
Oh, even that was just awesome. You're just wrong with a 9.
Yeah, maybe. Now we move on to storytelling. So I'm interested as to what you've got for this.
I've gone 9 because I think that, first of all, I don't think she's had the great storylines in WWE. I can understand why, because there's only so much you can do with someone who doesn't necessarily have the most amazing English in the world. But in the grand scheme of things, she still tells a great story in the ring. When she gets given time, she's working a body part. They're working so well. The story, the emotion comes through. Especially when I think she's working as a heel, weirdly, even though she's so goddamn popular. I like her storytelling work. What have you gone for storytelling?
I'll give her an 8, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I originally had a low, but I think... I don't know what. Sometimes I look at my power rankings and my scores that I gave it a while ago, and I just go, "What were you on about? So what were you thinking?"
I've done that before. Where I've gone. If you're in a happy mood, you can rank someone really happily. And I've looked at some people and I've compared 2 people together. I've gone, this person is way better, but I've got this person 10 points higher. What have I done?
Well, I'll have the reverse where I'm just kind of on a train and I'm bored and I'm just going, Asuka, 6 or whatever. And I'm not really thinking about it, and then I come to it. So I'll give her an 8 because I think you make valid points. Next, we move on to her promo skills. Sam, what have you got? Because I think this is interesting. I think you can go one or two ways.
It's mean. There's only so much you can do. I've given her a 4. She can actually talk. I actually wish they gave her a bit more talk. I like the fact that they, in WWE, they started letting them just talk in Japanese. Like Nakamura did it, Io Sky did it, and they just did translations and stuff. Just do it. There's nothing wrong with that. We can read. It's absolutely fine. Like, I remember Julia's first promo in NXT. Amazing Mexican wrestler who got brought over. I don't know if you know anything about her yet. She's been in NXT for a couple of months now. And her first ever promo in September, they watch chanted her. And she's doing it in English. Second language, and they're watch chanting her, and you're like, give her...
That is a Room 101.
It really is. Like, give her a chance, to do it. But they never did that to Asuka. And Are You Ready for Asuka is all she needed to say, and it worked. So I think you can't go crazy because she's never really cut a decent promo, never really had a chance to. But every time she does get to talk, she gets what she needs to get across, gets a character across.
I've gone with a 5,
which is
just
fair,
a bit high because I always really like her intensity.
Yes, she gets the gimmick across, she gets the character across. Yes, you just can't. I wish we have a bit more of a chance to hear it.
I wish I understood Japanese.
Yeah, have you ever seen her Twitter?
No.
So Asuka's
Does she just post in Japanese? Is it like in the...
No, even better. So Asuka's crazy. Like, if you ever wanted to be a person and going like, what do you find attractive? She used to work for like a gaming company, either a magazine or as a programmer or something. So she's a big nerd, and she just does Photoshop and just photoshops herself into loads of different things. It's hilarious. If you want to follow a wrestler on Twitter, follow Asuka. She's hilarious.
Now we move on to her look. Sam, what have you got? Yeah, I think it's quite fair.
It's one of the coolest looks in wrestling.
Yeah.
Hair's always cool. The entrance gear that she wears is always so cool. I used to like the thing that she kind of used to have like a thong that was over the top, and you think that would be almost like sexualized, but it wasn't, because she also used to wear like almost like suspenders as well. And you think again that'd be sexualized, but it wasn't. It seemed to go with this aesthetic. I don't know if it was like linked to an anime or linked to any Japanese culture or anything like that. But every time she looked in the ring, I went, you look at all the other women and they're wearing kind of like some sort of crop top bra type thing and maybe a pants or maybe some sort of shorts. And then she comes out looking like that and you go, that's cool.
You always felt there was a lot of effort put into it, a lot of thought behind it.
And you can tell it's her as well.
Yeah.
That's the difference as well. I think she is a 10 on 10 look. And by the way, I'd give her 10 in the men's category as well. I think she generally is a 10 across the board.
Yeah, I'll give her a 10.
Yeah, she's just a 10. She looks so cool. It just always looked cool. Even the heel when she started doing the face paint gimmick, because is it Katana Asuka? Is that what it was called, I think?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it is. I always forget the name of that thing. And again, I thought she looked even cool in that.
Yeah.
Though a little bit like she was in the band Kiss.
But at least she's changing a little bit. She's not just staying the same.
Doesn't stay, yeah. Love it. 10 for me.
And now we move on to the entrance. Sam, what have you got?
Well, what do you think?
You're going to go 10
I just
again.
danced around behind you.
Oh, well, you did do that.
It's
That
a 10.
was 10.
It's a 10 on 10 entrance. I love the music. Music's fantastic. Didn't they used to have a bit at the beginning? It was like, ooh, like that. It was almost like an Asuka like mask, and then they did the music. I think they got rid of that beginning bit, and then her dancing to the ring, almost like gyrating, mask on, slowly taking the mask off. It's a great.
I used to have
entrance.
that on my workout playlist.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's a great entrance. It's such an entertaining entrance. I love that entrance so much. It makes me happy to see.
Yeah, I gave it a 9.
I think that's fair though. I can understand that, but why? What's the drop down?
I think it's another one of those 9.5s. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you need a bit of pyro. Like if you had like,
where's the pyro? Around the ring, maybe.
I'm thinking Randy Orton's like rain pyro.
Oh yeah, that could work.
That would be
the golden
insane.
shower.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a golden shower.
Get cancelled again.
Yeah,
but yes,
you're allowed to say golden shower. You know,
sure, just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
At least not on air.
No.
Exactly.
Keep it. We're talking about Asuka's entrance. What is wrong with you?
Many things. Well, we
when it comes to scoring, what is wrong with you?
Many things. But I've gone with a 9. I do love it.
I like 10.
Now we move on to the heel work. And personally, I preferred her as a heel to a face. But Sam, what have you gone with?
9.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's got the mist as a gimmick is automatically going to be a great gimmick because it's such a heel thing to do and it gets a massive pop. The viciousness, because she was a heel in NXT as well, I think.
She was a great heel.
Vicious that she can bring, because obviously she could attack you, but then she's going to be crazy gimmick. Like, do you remember when she won the Women's Championship after the Money in the Bank thing? And she was just dancing around like Titan Towers. But she was a heel, and she's so entertaining.
I thought she was a face.
No, I think she's a heel at that point. I think she gets turned face by the time winning the title. I just love her as a heel. I think she is a much better heel as a face. However, we'll get to that in a second, but I think it's a heel work. I just looked at her as there going, she couldn't stay a heel. She's too goddamn popular. Yeah. But her work when she was with the Kabuki Warriors and then her work with Damage Control shows that she can still definitely play a heel. So even though that's group and we can't take it massively into consideration, but she definitely can do heel.
And I think the way that she wrestles as well, she's got such a strong style. Like, in terms of it's very hard hitting. That you can present her as a real threat, not just a cowardly heel. She is like a Brock Lesnar.
Someone who's so short.
Yeah,
she could scare people.
Absolutely. I've gone with an 8. Just the thing for me is just promos. That's it. That's what's bringing me down.
I think you don't need a promo as a heel. I think you need promos as a face.
Yeah,
I get that. That's always been my rule. A heel can get away with just being a dick.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why for me her face score is slightly lower.
Yeah, fair enough.
And now let's move on to her babyface work. Sam, what have you gone with?
Still 9.
Really?
Even though I think her heel work is better, I couldn't give it a 10, but I also don't think her face work is an 8. She's always over like Rover. Her in-ring work is so babyface as well. She gets the crowd involved all the time. She's always making people laugh. Yes, she can't cut those promos, but I think they've actually just gone, she can't cut the promo, do character work. I just think that even though she is probably a better heel, she's not a bad babyface to me.
No.
And I was happy when she got runs. You know, people want to challenge her and have good matches. Her matches are better as a babyface, I think, even though she can play that heel. I think she's a wonderful babyface. I generally think she's a 9 as well for that. I think she's 9 for both.
I personally gone with a 7.
Okay.
Just a bit low for the promos and the fact that I think...
You need a promo as a face.
Yeah, and I think because she is so good in the ring, it's hard to make it look convincing for some women to be able to work over, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's
a weak
true.
Woman, she had a bit of the Ronda effect.
When she was Carmella. When Carmella went...
Carmella was the one in my head.
Oh, God, that was awful.
It's hard to sell that and make it work.
It also killed Asuka because Carmella won as well. Why are you putting her against her? What's wrong with you?
Exactly. So,
do other people first. You know, let her beat Natty and people like that first before you get anywhere near Asuka. What's wrong with you? Good grief. WWE booking in 2017.
No, it wasn't great.
Oh, yeah, but they made 18. And then 19. And then 20. And then 21. And then half of 22. Yeah. But then 22!
Yay!
And then the beginning of 23. Yeah. And then now! Yeah. But no, I understand it. I understand it. The promo is what drops it actually from a 10 for me. Yeah. But I actually just think the in-ring work, that's face would give it a 9. But I understand it. It's fair enough.
And now we move on to the gimmick / their personality and character. What have you given us, Sam? 10 again.
It's an unbelievable gimmick.
Yeah.
How could you not say that is not an A? It's cool, it's fun, it's interesting. A personality for someone who isn't doing English promos often. There's personality just everywhere out of the wazoo. How many women in WWE history would you go have a huge personality? It's really low. Like they're getting off on other things usually, you know, and this is why Trish and Lita were so far ahead of everyone because they were unique and they had personality. Asuka's personality for someone who can't even speak English very well. Actually, no, she can, but I mean, who does English promos, you know what I mean, is unbelievable. The gimmick's great because it has changed and modified based on heel, and it's a 10 out of 10 gimmick in the women's division.
I went with an 8.
Well, that's wrong.
That's
what women's gimmick is 9 or 10 then to you?
Becky Lynch.
Yes,
I think is
the most over.
Well, you asked
most over champion of all time.
You asked the question.
Great.
That deserves a 10.
So there's your 10.
I think Lita with the Hardy Boys.
Do you know what you're naming Hall of Famers and world class? Are you not?
Because that's what a 10 should be.
And Asuka's that.
For me, it's an 8 just because a little bit of the character work in terms of the promos for me, it just
can't always be about promo. That's what the promo score is.
I know. So
that's what the promo score is.
And I made that point to you in another video. But
you did.
I just. For me, it just brings down. Maybe it should be a 9. I'll say an 8.5, even though it will be an 8.
So an 8.
Yeah, an 8.
I've done an 8.5. 8.
Just to politically appease you more.
Yeah, well, you haven't. I'm unhappy.
No. And now we look at how over they were, or how much of a draw they were. Sam, what have you gone with?
I've gone with a 9.
Okay.
I think you look at a few moments winning of the Rumble. People went mad. That was so exciting. They were so happy for that, which is why, by the way, we are doing Asuka in January. She's the first ever winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. She culminates our January of Rumble, people. You know, we looked at Kofi with the survival spots, Bod with the 2001 Scotty Too Hottie spot. So it's been great to actually talk about all these Rumble participants. Yeah. But to me, the fact that everyone just gives her a massive pop. I don't think she's ever had a bad pop.
No, I would agree.
I think generally, if you gave her a proper main event run, she'd be a draw. I think she would main event WrestleMania. I think she probably could have done if you on 34 if you'd have treated her correctly. 34 is the one I would have actually done. You know, but they didn't have 2 nights. If there were 2 nights, Charlotte and Asuka, I think should have main event. Though the story they told was terrible.
Not great.
But could you imagine a proper 20-minute, 25-minute match with Bianca? Could you imagine? Well, she already proved it with Becky, and that match was phenomenal. Yeah. And I generally think that was arguably match of the night. Arguably the match of the night. Yeah. They also did a triple threat TLC with Charlotte and Becky as well. And she won that, and you got Charlotte and Becky, and they still went mad that she won that match.
Absolutely.
You know, with Ronda's help. I think she's massively over like Rover. And I would love to see her in a match with Bianca, Rhea, Jade. Could you imagine a match with Jade?
Yeah.
She could lead Jade in a match for a long period of time. I would love to see it.
So I've gone with an 8.
Which I also understand.
Yeah, because I think she's not that upper echelon of like, she's like going to be on your poster, you know what I mean?
They put her there all the time though, like as a chance. They just never, I think WWE is all about the promo. If there's ever a person who probably would have flourished in AEW, like moving over early, say, I think Asuka would have been it. I don't want Asuka to move to AEW because I actually prefer her booking in WWE. And the women's division in AEW goes up, it goes down, it goes up. Like 2024 has been a fantastic year for their women's division, but 2 years, like the first 2 or 3 years, it was one of the worst. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I think if you imagine Asuka's booking in AEW, if they gave her a title run, I think she'd be all over that. But for me, I just think she's great. Yeah. Every time I see her, I'm happy and I pop. So therefore, she's over. She's never not been over. 100% over her whole career, and that's impressive.
Yeah. Now we move on to their finisher. You've got to always end with a finish. Sam, what have you gone with?
So we've got the Asuka lock.
Yeah.
I've gone 7.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care for it that much. Reminds me of Samoa Joe's Coquina Clutch. I don't really care for like headlocky type moves, really. I actually preferred the one she did, Becky, that you mentioned.
That's the one I think of.
I prefer that, because doesn't she also have like a Shining Wizard type thing as well?
I think so.
But her proper actual finisher, if we're judging finishers, I know we have to judge all their finishers technically, is probably the Asuka Lock one she won the most. And in reality, it's like, she just grabs them, legs go around, and she chokes. I don't think it's that interesting. I go with a 7 because I actually like submission finishers, and particularly in the women's division, because outside of Charlotte, Becky, and Banks. Oh, look, you've named 3 massive main eventers. I think to be a proper main eventer, you need to have
Ronda,
some sort of submission move. I really do. I actually think it massively works. You've either got to be a big powerhouse, you don't need a submission move, you're a big powerhouse, but you need a submission move in the back pocket, and I think 7.
I think this is the first one I've gone higher than you. I've gone 8. Yeah, I really like it. It's really well protected, and I love that.
Oh, definitely well protected.
Yeah,
I like the inverted one. I really do.
Yeah, so 8.
Yeah, fair enough.
So now we look at the overall leaderboard, and it seems she has taken the top spot.
Yeah, Sam, what have you given her as a score?
I've given her an 80.
Which is too low. I've given her an 87, which is one of the highest scores I think I've given so far. I think that's up there with my Hardy Boys scores, I think, actually. It's a really high score. So it's an overall score of 167. And as Sam has already alluded to, Asuka has popped straight to number 1, quite comfortably over Beth Phoenix on our leaderboard, 17 points. She is comfortably number 1 on
She'll be
our
hard to
leaderboard.
displace.
It's gonna have to take some of the big guns, I think. We're talking Hall of Famers, we're talking those modern day greats. I think they're gonna have to compete. But I tell you what, are they going to compete with the in-ring work and the gimmick and the personality? It's up there.
Well, if they're 10s, then
that's what they've got. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What did you think of Asuka? Do you think Sam is wrong again, just like he was with the Hardy Boys? He just doesn't like good wrestlers.
It just depends what mood I'm in when I write it down. That's literally it.
If you are a 16-year-old and you're going into your GCSEs, he is the example of double checking your work.
Yeah.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.